Hey guys, James West here. Time for a new writing tips video. Today I'm actually going to talk about something that I learned in my game theory class. In class we were talking about the different kinds of arguments that a game might get in terms of its design. And two categories of arguments we covered were simulationist and narrativist. Now there was a third type of argument called gamist. However, I'm not really sure how well that transfers to writing. I gotta do a bit more research on that one. So for now, I'm just gonna leave that one on the back burner and focus on the other two. Now, a quick bit of context. Narrative essentially is the plot of your story, right? The different events that make up your book. Narrative also pretty much dictates on what needs to happen in order for your story to move along or progress. Simulation is essentially the logical backbone behind the narrative. Personally, between the two, I like to think of simulation as the thread that tethers your story to reality, that allows the reader to either empathize or understand what's happening by relating a given event in your story or to something in reality. This could be a character getting mad when the person he cares about is hurt, or understanding the logic behind a villain's master plan. Those would fall under the category of simulation. Now, it's really important when you're writing a story to try and balance the simulation with the narrative. And for instance, if you have a story that's too much narrative and not enough simulation, you start running the risk of using lazy ex machinas, as too many MacGuffins, or just frankly just making a really complex, convoluted, and all in all confusing story. Now, if you have you're creating a story that's a little too heavy on simulation, that might not affect the story itself, but it could cause a lot of trouble just in the writing process. I honestly cannot say how many times that I've had to stop and just think to myself, does this make sense? Would this character do this in real life? And while that's by no means a bad habit to have, it can be problematic if it gets out of hand. Yeah, and this is kind of why a lot of authors, while maybe not relying on it, they might sort of lean on this suspension of disbelief from time to time. And while I will never ever encourage or just outright sacrificing logic, at the end of the day, it really does come down to, okay, we have to move the story on from this point in some way. So we gotta figure out how. Now, in terms of balancing the simulation and narrative, the best advice I can probably give is simply to give a rational or reasonable explanation behind an action or event. Now, I think my favorite example of this is the old trope of the traveler coming to a fork in the road. On one side, the road looks very pleasant, very safe, or the traveler has reason to believe that that taking this road will be the fastest way to his destination. However, the traveler was told earlier by, let's say, a shopkeep that he should not go down that road, that he should take the other road. Now, at the fork, usually as the trope goes, the traveler will just look at the two roads and say, you know what, that guy was probably just messing with me. I'm going this way. And again, as the trope usually goes, he gets into trouble, attacked by bandits or something. So man realizes, oh no, I should have listened to the guy, I should have gone the other way. And ignoring how that trope ends, and when he's actually at the fork in the road, he actually has a reasonable explanation for going either way. Does he they go on what he's seeing, he makes a judgment purely on that, or does he actually take the advice into account and go the way he suggested? Another quick bit of advice I have for this, and this is sort of more for the simulation bit than narrative, I think. It's important to remember what rules / logic you make for the world you're building. This is especially, I stress this especially for fantasy novels where pretty much possibilities are a sky the limit. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you still have to have a sort of underlying logic behind what's happening in your book. So just kind of, again, you have to experiment and sort of find the sort of Goldilocks zone of how many limitations make it a little believable, while not giving enough to make it sort of water it down. That's about all I have to say for narrative and simulation. If any of you guys out there have suggestions for anything you want to see, just go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas. So until next time, this is James West signing off.